Hi guys, you're welcome to the Laura Studios. This is another episode of Android programming. We'll be talking about the Android sliding panel, where we're going to integrate a sort of expand and collapse functionality in a list view. We'll be using the sliding up panel library. I'll be moving straight to Android Studio, where I have the source files of the application. I'm going to do a high-level rundown of how the application flows. In my build Gradle module app session, in my dependencies, I have the com.so3, the sliding up panel library 3.2.1. This is the dependencies that will actually make this integration work so smooth. I'll be moving straight to the rest, where we'll talk about the layout file. We're talking about the activity main XML, which is the UI XML of this particular application. Let's go to the text. We get to look at the rendering library later. This is a relative layout with a padding bottom calling from the dimension, which is 16 dps. Left, right, top, all 16 dps. We have the context that is calling from the main activity Java class. We have the sliding up panel layout. We call this from the library so3, where we have the panel height and panel, the shadow height. There's going to be a parallax offset. There's a drag view and overlay, all set appropriately to fit in what we actually need it for. We have the main content where the list view sits, the layout width and height match parents. We have the sliding layout, which is a linear layout whereby we assign an ID to it called drag view, whereby you click is going to actually expand it. And when you click back, it's going to collapse it and get it like a button. We have another inner linear layout whereby the orientation is horizontal. The text you write on it is slider layout. We have to close this out. A frame layout follows that is going to actually hold this list items. The text on it is the main content, and we assign an ID to it called list main. We closed the linear layout and also closed the sliding up panel layout from the so3 sliding up panel. We close our relative layout. Let's get to look at the design view. Okay, this is the design view. We'll get to integrate these using our Java class. I'll be moving straight to our Java class, where we have the main activity, of this application. We imported the Android widget adapter view, the array adapter, because we're going to be using a sort of array list, and imported the list view and the toast. We also imported the sliding up panel layout from the so3. Our main activity extends the app part. We created the field sliding up panel layout and also the tag main activity. We created the array list, text view, and the list view. The onCreate method called on the super onCreate sets the content view to the activity main XML we talked about. There's an init method, a set list view method, and a panel listener that is being called immediately. The content view, the layout is being rendered. So let's look at what the init method does. Hereby we need to instantiate the M layout calling on this appropriate ID, the sliding layout, the text view. We call on the list main, and also the list view, where we call on the ID list. Let's get to look at the set list view item. In this method, we're going to set the array adapter to display list of items within this method, whereby we're going to use a callback set on item click listener on the list view. It's going to call when you click on the list of item. There's a button called list of item. When user click on the list of item, the slide up layout and display item is going to display the item of the list. We're going to set the panel state calling on the slide up panel layout, and also call on the set text. And you call if the toast is going to be on the main activity. There's going to be an on item click on each item. When you try to click on it, it's just going to be a toast. You can actually work more on this, probably extending it or creating an intent right from this. Where we instantiate the array adapter and pass the layout to the simple list item and set the adapter based on the array adapter object created. Now the panel listener, what's this doing? This method is going to call the set panel listener the set panel slide listener method to listen, open, and close of slide panel. Yeah, it's going to listen to the open and close. Where you set the slide panel slide listener, you instantiate with the slide up panel layout. Doing the transition of expand and collapse on panel slide function will be called, we call the on panel slide function, when you're trying to expand and collapse the panel. Okay, when you log on to tag the on panel slide as an offset, this method will be called after the slide up, which is the on panel expanded. We have the on panel collapsed, when you're collapsing, and the on panel anchored and on panel hidden. Now we have the arrays. This is return type method. Within this method, we create the array lists where we have the list of which is going to actually sit in the list view. This is just an array list that's just been created. This is a dummy data anyway. This is an example list view that you can scroll. It shows how any scrollable view can be included as a child of sliding up panel layout. On backpressed, this is actually going to take you back to the normal state of the application, whereby the expanded and the collapse will be formed into just one button. I'll be looking at the manifest. Let's see what's new in the manifest. We only have the launch activity as a default activity because that's the only activity in play. Now I'll be uploading the source file to my GitHub account, and I will ensure you to test it out. You can test it in an emulator. It's quite smooth. It works very fast. And I will also show you all these in the emulator and the Android emulator, so that you get to see how the sliding up panel actually works. Here we go with the application, the Android sliding panel. We have the slider layout, which is the button click. Let's click on this to see the list view right inside it. You wonder that is there anything right inside it? But click on it, you get to see how it's been expanded where we have the list. This is an example list. You can actually add a real list, which is going to actually takes to another intent to work on this. You can easily scroll to get to the end of the list right in this. So if you want to actually collapse this, you click on this slider bar layout, it gets collapsed, and you can easily find other stuff to do right underneath this. So this is just like maximizing your space. You're trying to manage the layout, but you have a lot of functionalities right on the panel, and you can easily whip up some list items into a sliding panel so that you can have a lot of space to still use in the other UI of the application. Now look at it. When you click on it, it's expanded, and you can get to see a lot of list items. And when you're through with it, you can pick a click where the united click lister actually works here. So you can actually add an intent to this to another activity where you can get to do some other funky things. Thank you very, very much for hanging out with me throughout this session. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Have a wonderful time. Bye-bye.